All this week, we've been teaming up with the Kingsville Border Patrol Station to help raise awareness and have the conversation about Red Ribbon Week. With us today are Justine Olsummer and Edgar Lopez. Great to see you all again.
Thanks for having us again.
All right, our grand finale. We've had a fun and interesting week to celebrate Red Ribbon Week. Today, we have a few questions from our friends at home. Here's the first one. My child is becoming isolated. I fear that they may be using or may have been exposed to the idea of using drugs. What do I do?
So, great question. As a parent, who better to know your kids as your parent? You should trust your instinct, trust your gut. If something's wrong, then you should follow up on it. Don't let it. I'll get back to it. I understand sometimes it's hard. It's been a long day at work. You get home, you just want to relax. But kids, we got to be involved with them. It's got to be an open communication at all times. You got to be open-minded with everything you do with them. Ask them anything, but at the same time, just hear them out. So these conversations, everybody understands they're difficult, but it's got to happen. If you notice that change of behavior, anything, or something that you might suspect that they're coming across drugs, whether they see their friends using them or they've been offered drugs, you got to reassure them that it's okay to talk about it. And you got to also ask them what kind of experience have they had? Have they been asked by friends or anybody if they want to try drugs? And again, it's difficult, but it's got to happen. And they also got to make sure that they have you have their back. Anything they do, anything they tell you, you're gonna tell them your experience as well, and also reassure them that it will be okay. And if at some point if it does get to it, you can also seek professional help. There are many programs. There's a lot of stuff out there that they can help kids before it gets too late.
I love it. I love that advice. I love that you acknowledge the fact that it can be awkward even for the parent. It takes a little bit of bravery on our end too to start that conversation. It's awkward, but it doesn't need to be if you have a healthy relationship with your child. All right, now next question. I want to be the cool parent, but I also want to find balance between social media and censorship because of all the crazy stuff that's available on the internet. What do I do?
Wow, that is a great question. And it's a delicate, but such an important question. And I'm really glad that they asked that. And my answer for that is going to be to make sure that you build that trust and you have that open communication with your child, because any small little thing that may happen on social media, you need to know immediately, whether they tell you or, there may be times where you need to, get a tracking program or an app to monitor that activity, because there are a lot of dangerous situations that your children can be placed into on social media. And we really need to be on top of that and building that trust, and letting them know the potential dangers, I think will help them understand as to why you are monitoring them, and let them know, real stories. I know that's terrible, but it'll open their eyes and make them realize that you're doing it for them and you love them and you just want them to be safe.
I love it. And I know a lot of parents who have all of their kids' passwords, and it's just a thing. It's understood that they're going to check on that regularly. It's a trust thing. And at this point, we have all the reasons to want to check on that, whether it's our kids or the people they're exposed to on there. It's so important to keep tabs on them in this crazy world we live in. Okay, now this next question actually relates to one from a little bit earlier. This is from a parent who just doesn't feel like they have that relationship with their kid yet to talk comfortably, and they're asking for some conversation starters to sort of ease that anxiety and begin that conversation with their child.
Yeah, anything important that my parents ever had to talk to me about, it was always at the dinner table. So I felt comfortable, there was no phones at the dinner table, TV was off. And I think that that's a good, comfortable place to start that conversation.
Yeah, and I think also, I agree with my partner. Dinner time, family together, and I think that's a real key. Put everything away. I know that nowadays everybody knows electronics. Everybody's on their phone and everything. You'd be surprised how much this more conversation you can have with putting all that away. Just making them feel comfortable. be non-judgmental. Whatever you ask, whatever they say, it's all about getting better. Give them advice. Don't judge anybody, their friends, them, anybody. It's all about having an open conversation, open-minded, and whatever's going on, everything has a solution. You can fix it, but the best thing to have is just communication. It goes a long way, builds trust, and it between the kids and everybody, the parents. It helps out a lot.
Yeah, and just reassure them that you love them and that you're open, you're listening, and you are available whenever they need anything to talk to you, and make yourself available, make that time for the kids because it's really important. And this is something, if you do have any more questions, we can refer you to redribbon.org. That's another place that you can kind of refer to for any additional questions you may have.
I love it. Well, I love that advice. I know we come from a childhood where we usually like feared one or the other parents, like, I'm going to tell your dad. Now I think we need to be a little bit more open-minded and welcoming for that conversation with our children, letting them know that at the end of the day, it's their health and their well-being that we're concerned with. And it's not about punishment. It's about having that conversation. Thank y'all so much for all the information you offered us this week. We would like to give a big shout out to the Kingsville Border Patrol Station and Company. Thank you all so much for helping raise awareness for Red Ribbon Week.